Very good Sunday morning to you. I'm Lauren Tallarico here with you. I hope that you had the chance to catch our second ever Sunday edition of H-Town Rush. We're really excited to have launched that last week, and we're going to be here every Sunday from 7 until 8 o'clock in the morning from here on out. So we hope you caught us this morning. If not, we'll see you next week, we hope. So this is our webcast. It's kind of like an informal conversation between us and talking about some of the top stories that we're covering today and overnight. And I want to start with one that's a bad news story, unfortunately. It's a tragedy, and Harris County deputies really need somebody's help out there if they can help them find the suspect involved in this case. So early this morning, a couple was driving on the East X Freeway. This was in North Harris County near Mount Pleasant. They were actually on the feeder road, and they got a flat tire. It was a man and a woman. They both got out of the car, according to deputies, and the man was trying to change the tire. The woman was standing behind him with her flashlight trying to shed some light on what was happening, and a driver sped past them, hit both of them, killed the man, and then just took off, just left them there lying in the road. Now the woman is alive. The man, unfortunately, sadly, was killed at the scene, and again, that driver took off. So Harris County deputies are asking anybody who may have seen something suspicious, anybody who saw a car speed off, and again, this is the 1500 block of the East X Freeway feeder road near Mount Houston Road. So if you saw anything or have any information that can help, please call the Harris County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers so they can get somebody be held accountable for what happened there this morning. Very sad story. Okay, on to some much brighter news now, and it's what everybody is talking about. The Texans.
That's right.
Of course. Daniel Gotera from our sports team woke up early, had a couple cups of coffee earlier than normal.
I had to do something.
Yeah, because you worked last night.
I was here last night. Felt like I didn't get home till like 12:15. Quick turnaround, but hey, we're talking Texans football.
Yeah.
So it's a big day for the city, for the fan base. They have a lot on the line, and just can't wait till 2 o'clock. It rolls around.
They're up in Kansas City.
Yep.
It snowed there yesterday. Today, it's not snowy, so hopefully that helps the players.
Yeah, we saw Matt Musial yesterday in the snow. I was so fortunate to be here. Yeah. And I went to school in Chicago, and I think back at those days, like, how did I do that? Like, how did I function in the actual snow? But it was really cold yesterday. So Matt was saying it was like in this 16 degrees.
Oh my gosh!
So
does that affect how they play?
Well, if it's snowing, it does. Obviously, if it's snowing,
Slippery.
then it changes maybe the game plan a little bit. Yeah, the turf is a little slick, but I think all that should be handled today. The turf should be in great condition. They do a nice job in Kansas City of handling that turf. So the weather shouldn't be an issue unless they start losing early on, because you know how it is. If things are going bad and you're really cold, then everything starts going crazy.
Sure.
So get out in front. That's the way the Texans have to do it. Kind of punch them in the mouth like the Titans did to the Ravens yesterday, and maybe good things will happen.
So what do you think is going to happen today?
So I don't know. I'm torn on this. So here are the keys to the game. Let's punch up my keys to the game for victory. The Texans and Chiefs today this afternoon. So the first thing to do is you got to start fast. The Texans have been one of the worst teams actually the worst team in the NFL with scoring points in the first quarter of the games. So they got to start fast. They didn't do it against Buffalo last week. Got into a 16-0 hole. If that happens this week, you can forget about it. It's not going to be a pretty sight because Kansas City is really good, and they love playing at home. Second thing is get creative. We saw glimpses of that in the second half against Buffalo. The run-pass option was being used with Deshaun Watson, the running backs out in space, the tight ends out in space. You see that a little bit early on to get the momentum going. I'm really interested to witness to see what Bill O'Brien decides to do with that offensive game plan, because he could really set the tone. Third thing is forced turnovers. Saw it last night. Ravens get the ball. They're driving down the field. Titans pick them off, and it kind of just flips the script on a game. So if the Texans don't win the coin toss, Chiefs get the ball first, they're going to try to score. Get a turnover, force turnovers early on. They've been better at that this season than they were a year ago, so that would be huge on the road. And then the fourth and final thing, don't panic.
That's a big one.
Yeah, don't panic. There will be moments in this game where things will go south because Kansas City's offense can score from anywhere on the field. So don't panic. The game plan has to stay the same throughout. I referenced that Titans game last night. The Titans went up 14-0 on Baltimore early in the second quarter, and it seemed like Baltimore, who runs the ball a lot, they changed their offensive game plan, started throwing the ball more. Still a lot of time left. Control the clock, run the ball. Carlos Hyde's going to be huge today. He was over 100 yards against his former team last time they played in Kansas City in October. they have to do that, excuse me, to maintain momentum, to maintain the pace of this game and keep that Chiefs offense off the field. So don't panic if things start going south.
Don't panic for us either.
That's true.
I mean, it's a good fan
it's
advice.
Yeah, it's a
piece of advice
advice.
for fans.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I think it's a fun game. It's going to be a great atmosphere up there in Kansas City. Lots of Texans fans have traveled. Traveling Texans do a great job. I go to about 4 games a year on the road. Matt Musil and I split up the schedule, and they're always there showing off a lot of pride. They were there in Kansas City earlier. I think they're going to be a lot more this time around.
I'm going to go ahead and map quest something right here because I saw, so earlier in the show we had sound, we interviewed people who were driving up to the game.
That's
so
wild.
And I meant to do this earlier, but let's just check to see how long it would take. If you left right now to get, it's Arrowhead Stadium, right?
Arrowhead Stadium, yeah.
Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City. Okay.
Well, they better
10 hours and 54 minutes. You're not going to make it.
I don't think so.
You're not going to make it.
And plus the parking situation there is dreadful.
Is it?
It's dreadful.
Horrendous?
Yeah, it's really bad. We drove around the stadium trying to find a parking spot last time.
Yeah.
So, but I think if they control the pace, I put the Texans. Here's the thing: people have been asking me for my predictions. If I look at the stats and I dive into the game the way we've been doing all week, my head says Kansas City because they're at home. They've been a little bit more consistent on the offensive side of the ball.
Even though we beat them earlier, week 6.
Yes. Andy Reid, their head coach, is really good coming off a bye week. That's exactly what they're doing. But then again, the Texans have been kind of playing in this playoff mode since the beginning of December, with the exception being that Tennessee game to end the season. So my head says Kansas City. My heart says the Texans, because usually in sports, there are things that kind of line up around like special seasons. Mm-hmm. There has to be a reason Tennessee has moved so far in the playoffs. Can you imagine hosting an AFC championship game here in Houston next week against the team, the franchise that left this city high and dry with no football back in the 90s?
That would be a sweet,
I mean, it's a storybook type of thing.
Definitely.
That, one, excites me about today, and 2, worries me, because I don't want them to fall flat on their face and disappoint everybody. But that AFC title game would be next week here in Houston, NRG Stadium at 2 o'clock. I can't imagine what that atmosphere would be like. I know the players are thinking about it. A lot of the guys were tweeting after the game, saying, hey, we're ready. After the Titans won, this is a possibility.
That would be
awesome.
The
Chiefs are playing for home field advantage too, right? So if they win, they will host that game.
Right.
So it's a big thing. A lot of stuff on the line. So
we don't want to plan ahead yet because we don't want to jinx anybody.
No.
We don't want to jinx the Texans.
True.
But, just so you know, it's going to be here in Houston. It's pretty cool.
2 o'clock
pretty
next
cool.
week. So just maybe start. No, I'm not going to say that.
Okay, don't say it. Don't say it. Okay, there are so many places, by the way, people can watch the game around Houston today. There are so many watch parties. We have those listed for you on KHOU.com because we know Houston is sprawling and huge. So we have several locations you can head to if you're looking for a lively atmosphere and you couldn't make it up to Kansas City. And
also on the injury front, Will Fuller is expected to play. So is Darren Fells. Tight end was dealing with a bit of an injury. He's expected to play. And so is Kenny Stills. So they will be full go on offense. Everybody is out there. So that's good news moving forward. Will Fuller is going to be huge. I know he dropped 3 touchdown passes against the Chiefs last time. And they could have really blown out Kansas City in that game. That's how well they played.
Yeah.
So hopefully that bodes well. But Will Fuller to kind of take the top off of the defense will open things up down in the middle of the field for everybody.
So he's the player to look for this
That's
game.
my key player, yep.
Oh, the game is right here on KHOU 11. Kickoff 2:05, right?
2:05, yeah. Pregame show starts at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, and Matt Musil's up there too.
Yep. We'll have a full recap, good or bad. Hopefully good on Sports Extra tonight.
We're going with the heart. Your heart says
my heart?
they're going to win.
Okay.
We're going with Daniel's
We're going
heart
with
here. Yeah. But we've talked a little bit about the weather up there. Snow yesterday, beautiful here today. A bit chilly though. Let's get Addison.
Okay, we're
Come
gonna tag.
Are you gonna? You're gonna.
team.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Tag team.
All right, man.
See you
I
later.
got my move here. I don't want to get caught on the chair.
I don't want you to leave your phone.
Yeah, I'll take my phone too.
Good. You can stay in the middle if you want, Daniel. So you do some like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Come on in.
I'm gonna let you guys have a moment.
All right, we'll have a moment.
We'll hug it out.
Okay, well, perfect. Stand by for the hugs. So weather-wise, though, gosh, Friday was turbulent. Mm-hmm. A lot of people had, luckily, compared to other people in the South and Midwest, we got off we did pretty well.
We did. We definitely did dodge kind of a proverbial bullet, so to speak, with those thunderstorms coming through. We had severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings across portions of the Houston metro. Some areas got hit hard with tornadoes across the Central Plains, the Southeast, with unfortunately some fatalities.
That's
Thankfully,
really sad.
none of that happened over here. But a little preliminary taste of how severe weather season could be
Sure.
going in towards the spring season.
Yes, and now though it's beautiful. Gosh, made way for sunshine, cool weather, and that's going to be the case for a little while,
Just
right?
a little while. Did you mind the chill in the air today?
I love
To
it.
start off the day?
I loved it.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a coat on, but yeah, it's nice.
A little more of a thicker coat?
Yeah.
Probably than usual?
Yep.
Yeah, I had to break that out of the closet. I had that stowed away for a while because it's been so warm and so nice and so pleasant. We had to break it out earlier on today, but those people up there in Kansas City, yeah, it's going to be on the chilly side of things.
Keep that coat out there. What about here, though?
Here, we're going to be noticing we have a good amount of sunshine coming on in, but clouds are rolling on in as you go throughout the day today. Here we got the graphic for you. Temperatures will be in the low 60s with us watching a little southeasterly breeze kick in, bring a little more moisture off the Gulf. And then in for tonight, we're going to increase that cloud thickness and also bring in the chance for some patchy fog, especially south and west of the city, where our temperatures not getting towards the freezing point. For the most part, they should be in the upper 40s to the low 50s. 7-day forecast shows that we are out of this cold stretch, this brief cold stretch, I should say, for this morning, of temperatures into the 60s and 70s for those highs. Lows, not going too down in the low department. I'm talking about the 50s to 60s, with also those rain chances running in each and every day, unfortunately. We have a little bit of a stalled pattern over us that we have to deal with, but we do need the rain, so we'll take it, and it's in little doses here and there, so hopefully no flooding situations come across anybody's front lawn, so to speak.
Well, I hope not, definitely.
No,
okay,
no,
but
no,
still,
it's not
70,
the cards.
75 and some rain could be much worse.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we'll take them. We're not getting any
take it.
snow. We're not getting any big bouts of cold air. This is fine weather for us here in
Exactly.
Texas.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Make sure you go out and enjoy it for a little while. Maybe that's tailgating. Daniel, we're bringing you back in.
am I out again?
We're
Come
bringing
on
you
in,
back
buddy.
in. You
Awesome.
can come here, nestle
bring
in
it.
the middle here.
Sit right here, guys.
Any final thoughts before we leave on the Texans team? Any pep talks or anything like that?
Oh, well, if they're not fired up for this one, then God help them,
Yeah.
because this is going to be a big one. This is probably the biggest game in franchise history at this point. I was in Baltimore several years back when they lost the divisional round. They had a really good team that year. It was the year Matt Schaub got hurt. Went on the road. Jacoby Jones fumbles the punt return near the goal line. They lose the game. It was tough. This is their best shot to get to a Super Bowl in franchise history. The title game runs right through Houston if they win it. So,
All right.
man, I'm fired up.
Fingers
Fingers
I know I'm fired up.
crossed.
I'm not emotionally ready for what's about to happen at 2 o'clock today.
Yes, you are. We're here for you.
Oh, thank
we
you.
are here
We're
for
always
you.
here for
I will be on Twitter, and you can
Yeah.
follow all of my
You'll be
antics on there.
blogging.
Yeah,
Blogging.
that's right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
follow him, D. Gotera.
DT Gotera,
DT Gotera.
KHOU.com. Yeah.
All right, I guess that wraps it up for us. Anything else to say? Closing thoughts?
No, I think everyone should get outside. I know you probably stayed inside yesterday. It was kind of a little murky, but today, get out there, especially for any tailgating plans and for any Texan hosting parties.
All right.
And
awesome.
victory parties, too, right?
Victory
Victory
parties. Definitely got to think
parties.
forward thinking right there.
Right.
And also,
Good
wanna
vibes.
add, Kansas City, Andy Reid typically does not handle the postseason too
That's true.
well.
That's
So,
true, yeah. Although he's been good off of buys, he kind of chokes sometimes.
He finds a way to somehow drop the ball.
He complicates things. But Bill O'Brien sometimes does that too. So
No.
maybe that's an even playing field.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us right here on H-Town Rush, your Sunday morning edition. We'll see you back here at 5:30 tonight. Ron Trevino will be here with you. So in the meantime, KHOU.com is your place for news. Of course, our KHOU app is a great place to get breaking news updates, and we'll be tweeting and sending alerts out about the Texans, I'm sure. So that is the place to go if you want to keep updated throughout the day. Have a good one.
See ya.